Are you looking for better shooting experience? How about a facility where you can shoot all of your firearms in the same day? Where you can move and shoot steel, draw from the holster, and practice your rifle work out to 600 yards. Shoot a very challenging sporting clays course or a round of trap or skeet. You can do all that and much more at the Aurora Sportsman's Club. Hi, I'm David Lombardo, president of the Aurora Sportsman's Club. If you love the outdoors, you'll want to know all about Northern Illinois' largest outdoor shooting facility, the Aurora Sportsman's Club. If you're a novice looking for a basic course, an experienced shooter looking for an advanced course, or perhaps you want to participate in your favorite shooting event, or just spend an enjoyable day with a family, the Aurora Sportsman's Club is the only shooting facility in the region that offers all that and more. Interested? Then you won't want to miss the next orientation and tour of the Aurora Sportsman's Club. Call, email, or visit our website today to find out how you can become part of a better shooting experience at the Aurora Sportsman's Club in Waterman, Illinois.
He is the human Molotov cocktail that they can legally throw into the system that stole their lives from them.
So we're going to create a new government that serves you, your family, and your country. It's time for On Target Radio, Chicagoland's only radio show dedicated to the red meat issues that affect your life, from gun control to freedom of speech. Now, debating, debunking, and discussing today's hot issues, here are your hosts, David Lombardo and Gretchen Fritz.
Welcome to On Target Radio. Tonight, David and Gretchen will be talking about Trump's continued push to make changes conservatives have wanted for 8 years as he tackles the news media, slashes business regulations, puts Obama's Social Security gun ban on the chopping block, and chooses a true Second Amendment supporter for the vacant SCOTUS seat. As Trump makes sweeping changes, the states respond, and we'll take a look at Montana's House bill to authorize firearms on post office property in defiance of federal regulations. Will a Trump administration prosecute Soros for sedition? And as always, the left holds itself to a lower standard of behavior. All that and more on tonight's On Target Radio. So give us a call at 815-205-1584. That's 815-205-1584. Or go to Facebook, like our page On Target Radio, and ask a question or make a comment there.
Here's my rant for the week. I didn't have time to do a rant for the week. That was it.
First time ever.
It is almost 4.5 years. 200. We came here, 215 shows on AM 560, and how many have we done since then?
I don't know, like 15, I think.
Something like that, probably.
At least, yeah.
Okay, so say 15, 215, 50, 230, 230 shows, and I finally fall on my sword. What am I going to tell you? If you're listen to the rant, that was it. I ranted. I don't have time.
He apologizes.
I don't apologize.
Oh, okay.
Shameless.
I rescind your apology.
We're going to be going through rant withdrawal.
Rant withdrawal. So
all of your adoring fans are going to be so disappointed.
2 minutes before we go to air, or wire, whatever we go to, I'm not
whatever
sure.
This is.
Whatever we go to here, 2 minutes before they go, why don't you do a rant on the fly? I actually thought about it.
I thought about saying that when you came down the stairs, but I thought you would whack my head off of my neck.
If somebody would have, well, I'd probably do that anyway, but if somebody would have said as I was coming down the stairs making my grand entrance and said, since you had no time to do a rant, why don't you do a rant on the fly? I'd have sat down, penciled a couple thoughts, and I would have done it. But 2 minutes before air, and he'd go, why don't you do a rant on the fly? That I thought about it is dumb.
I can't even believe that it never occurred to you until I said it. That's the part I'm surprised about.
What can I say?
You're a little set in your ways.
Says the German to the Italian.
Well,
yes.
I know.
Yeah.
I can reckon birds of a feather. I can recognize it.
What can I say? I really, I had two things I could have done the rant on. I just physically didn't have the time with all that was going on. Weird stuff going on at the club and teaching and, doing videos and stuff. And I just didn't have the time. But I really, there were two things, and I was looking at them. And one of them is, and I love this, Chicago Trump goes, we can always send the feds. Immediately they go, they're going to send the military and take over the town. That's not what necessarily what he's talking about. And what's Chicago's response? Oh, no, we don't need help.
We got it under control.
Really? Yeah, because what they're doing
Doesn't seem
works
like
so
it.
well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It kind of doesn't seem like they've got it under control.
No. So that was one. And the other one was, which I really like a lot, there are still people who are saying, he's not really conservative. He's gonna run out of stuff, and then you're going to see. Well, when exactly do they think he's going to run out of stuff? I mean, he's just every day it's something new. Gorsuch, and here's the cool thing: Neil Gorsuch, who's put up for the Supreme Court. Every single person that Donald Trump has appointed has been hardcore conservative, fiscal conservative.
I wouldn't go to every single person, but most.
Who would you think? Who would you say?
That woman he nominated for transportation. She's like
Chow.
Chow. Yeah,
she was
like
out of the FAA.
Yeah.
Well,
what I read is she's a fixture in Washington D.C.
Yeah. She's with the FAA. She was and
she's
what's a conservative
She's
bus?
married to McConnell.
Yeah, what's a conservative bus? Okay, she's in charge of transportation. All right, how conservative? Jets. That is conservative. I don't know, but you look at them. I mean, and the people in the really key spot. Mad Dog Mattis, classic example. Okay,
Our new favorite.
First day sitting in his office, 31 airstrikes against ISIS.
Yes.
That's more, I think, than we did for 8 years. And
We're just trying to catch up to France and Russia.
Yeah, well, I would think so. But there's still people who are going, oh no, he's not really conservative. It's he's this is all for show. Well, okay, I can take that. I'll live with that.
So far, it's a pretty good show.
It's a pretty good show. That's right. So that was gonna be my rant, but and I just did it.
I was trying to find. I had heard that, or I thought I had heard that Gorsuch was on Obama's short list when he actually nominated
In fact, he was.
Merrick Garland. I Googled it. I couldn't find it, but
I believe that is correct, though. He was.
Yeah, I thought I had heard that.
I think that was, but I think that was after he floated it after they go. There's no way we're going to let Merrick be in, and I think he was.
Oh, really?
I think he just wanted to have an appointment. Mm-hmm. He didn't want to walk away without having an appointment, and I think what he was doing was looking for something that he thought he could sell the Republicans on, just so he'd have an appointment. And they just go, you know what, go pound sand. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, but Gorsuch is a proven Second Amendment supporter. He's got history. I mean, he's a proven Second Amendment supporter.
Absolutely, and religious freedom.
Exactly.
He's got religious freedom chops.
Yep. So, all things considered, he's out of Denver, right? 10th,
Yeah.
I think he's out of the 10th.
Yes, 10th
Circuit Court, yeah.
10th Federal Circuit. And he actually wrote a book about assisted suicide and euthanasia. So, he's got the pro-life thing going, he's got the pro-Second Amendment thing going, he's got religious freedom, they mentioned separation of powers. I think he's a great choice.
It's a good choice.
Sounds like he's and I haven't heard anybody in the media or anywhere say anything negative about him. I mean, it sounds like he's pretty much going to be Teflon.
Yeah. So I that's very encouraging. And if you look at SCOTUS, Trump's probably got 2 more.
Well, I hope so. Yeah.
Well, Ruth Bader Ginsburg is what now? 240 years
and she's
old?
like senile.
Yeah, she just kind of wanders around wearing that silly outfit.
The little lace collar thing.
Yeah, exactly. And who the other one is 80 something.
Is that Kennedy?
Justice Kennedy? Yeah, I think it's Kennedy. So anyway, he certainly will get 1 more. I mean, I don't see. Well, you never know. She may have formaldehyde in her blood and live forever. It's hard to say.
Well, I say she's senile because she literally did, and this was not like an internet joke or anything. She said she was going to resign if Trump got elected. It's like, you do realize what would happen if you did that, right? He would get another appointment.
That really would be pretty
that
stupid.
would be a bad thing.
Yeah.
I don't know how you think that that's punishing anyone.
Yeah.
So I think she's losing it.
It's true. Give us a call, 815-205-1584, and comment on the rant I didn't do. But anyway, comment about the SCOTUS or whatever you got to talk about. I thought we had a call.
We do have a caller. I don't know if it's the same one or not.
It doesn't show up.
Do you want me to take it?
You might as well, because I don't have anything on my screen.
Let's see what we got.
Hi, you there?
Hello?
Hi, how are you doing?
Hi, Dave and Gretchen. It's Jeff from Berwyn.
Jeff from Berwyn, how are you doing?
I'm doing great, and belated Happy New Year to y'all.
Thank you.
Happy New Year to you.
Thank you.
I wanted to posit something to you and Gretchen, and for those of you who've gone through the Chicago public school system since the mid-'60s, posit means put forward as fact or the famous argument.
Well, there you go. Thank you for our listeners.
This repeated use of the word liberal to define what is essentially neo-communist, they're not liberal, okay?
That's the truth.
They are illiberal. They are progressive, leftist, socialist. In other words, they're essentially neo-communist. And I don't want to dignify them by calling them liberal, because if you go back in history, the classical liberal is essentially what you might say our side is.
That is,
okay?
yeah. That is true.
And I would hope everybody listening and y'all just, if you can train yourself to not call them liberals, but call them illiberal. I call them neo-communists. I'll say it to their face. They're not some the commies, okay? And the communists murdered 66, the Bolshevik communists murdered 66 million Russian Christians while their reign was on. And that's by Alexander Solzhenitsyn, the Nobel Prize winner. And then worldwide, there's upwards of 200 million that they murdered because of their belief in ideology.
Sure enough.
So they're not liberals. They are communists.
Do you have a concealed carry permit?
Again,
You probably want to be carrying if you're going to talk.
If you're going to say those things.
You want to be safe, brother.
Just look at the facts.
No,
Facts
you're
matter.
absolutely right. You're right, and it is true that what we call conservatives today were the ones who were making that changes. They were the ones who did away with the Ku Klux Klan, which were the Democrats, and all that. And that's true. It is true. We're actually getting close.
And
to
they also, by the way, it was Republican conservatives that actually passed the Civil Rights Act.
Right.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And wasn't it the
And I actually
19th Amendment
video.
that made the slaves citizens?
We got to bow out. We got to do a couple commercials, but I appreciate you calling. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you.
Take care. Well, there we go. I don't know why it didn't show up on my screen.
We'll take a look at it.
Tonight is listen. Everything is going to go. This will be.
We're flying by the seat of our pants here.
This will be a memorable show.
Yeah. Well, they all are.
Yeah. This is for the blooper reel.
We love all of our children equally.
Well, thank God there's the bumper out. We can all now go throw up in the other room and come back and try again. All right, we're going to be back after a few messages more on Target Radio.
For over 100 years, the Illinois State Rifle Association has supported the rights and freedoms of Illinois citizens to keep and bear arms. For over 100 years, the ISRA has supported the use of firearms as a sport for personal protection and as a fundamental aspect of national defense. For over 100 years, the Illinois State Rifle Association has been supporting you. Don't you think it's time you supported them? ISRA.org or 815-635-3198. The Illinois State Rifle Association, supporting you.
Safer USA, Chicago's most trusted name in firearm training, is offering beginners classes, tactical pistol and rifle, long-range rifle to 600 yards, and the most comprehensive Illinois concealed carry program available. The On Target Radio co-hosts David Lombardo and Gretchen Fritz will prepare you to carry a firearm for personal protection, including firearm, holster, and ammunition selection. A comprehensive law review designed to keep you out of trouble and even how to deal with home invasions. Firearm, ammunition, holster, class notebook, and lunch are provided. Safer USA and the Aurora Sportsman's Club invites you to participate in this one-of-a-kind Illinois concealed carry program that also qualifies you for Florida, Utah, and Arizona non-resident permits. Find out what over 6,000 students already know at saferusa.com.
Or call 815-741-3474. That's 815-741-3474. Safer USA. Choosing to own a firearm is your business. Teaching you to own it responsibly is ours.
Do you dread writing? Is it challenging to find just the right words to get your point across? Do you put off developing marketing materials because you just don't know where to start? You get one chance to make a first impression, and my editor, Creative Business Services, can help make it a strong, positive one. Hi, this is Gretchen Fritz, co-host of On Target Radio, and I'd like to tell you about My Editor, a business I started to help you overcome those concerns. What you're experiencing is very common. My Editor has helped business owners, candidates for political office, and even authors and public speakers. At My Editor Creative Business Services, we can simply edit your existing work or help you develop an entire writing plan of action from initial project design through final copy. We are easy to work with and will help you get your point across in the most effective manner. If words escape you, send me an email at myeditor@mail.com. Use My Editor Creative Business Services and go to print with confidence. That's myeditor@mail.com or find us on Facebook.
You're listening to On Target Radio with David Lombardo and Gretchen Fritz. Here's David and Gretchen with more interesting conversation on gun control, concealed carry, freedom of speech, and other red meat issues that affect your life.
This segment is brought to you by the Will County Grassroots Division of the Illinois State Rifle Association. Join like-minded friends supporting the right to keep and bear arms in Illinois at 7 p.m. on the third Wednesday of the month at the Silver Dollar Restaurant in Elwood, Illinois.
You know, you're right. The CNN piece is beautiful.
It's a really good one.
Here, I like that. As I'm sure everybody who's listening knows, Trump has been at war with CNN since day one. They literally, and have been caught red-handed, manufacturing news that was clearly patently a lie to try and undermine Trump. First, so that he wouldn't get elected, and then to delegitimize it. And this is not conjecture. It's not right-wing conspiracy. It's black and white fact.
It's proven.
Yeah, it's proven stuff. So I love this, where the reporter goes, he says, the White House is trying to punish the network and harm its ratings. He says, they're trying to cull CNN from the herd. It reminds me of Norm explaining why alcohol makes you smarter by culling the slow brain cells. The weak brain cells, yes. And Rush Limbaugh going, finally, this kind of thing should have been done a long time ago.
Yeah.
CNN is shameless.
Yeah. So the thing that the White House is doing right now that's so priceless is that they will not allow anyone from the administration, anyone from the Trump administration, to go and make appearances, do interviews on CNN.
Yeah.
Just no. They call, CNN calls, they go, we want to interview somebody about this. They just go, no.
I love it. I absolutely love it. I mean, it is classic. They're so used to, and MSNBC too. This morning, I got out of here about probably about 5:30 or something. This is just to show you how the day goes, by the way. So I left here about 5:30 in the morning to go out to Waterman, and the class doesn't start till 9. And the theory was I would do show prep and get the rant done because it's it's peaceful out there at 5:30, 6:30 in the morning by the time you get there. So I get there and I set the room up for the for the class for the day. I go to my office and I open up my bag and I pull out the cord for the computer and I plug it in. I put there and I open up. There's no computer.
Oh no!
I left the computer sitting on my desk at home. Okay, which made doing show prep a little bit difficult. Okay. Yeah. So I texted our dear friend over here and said, Eric, by chance, are you coming out to Waterman? And he goes, not really. Why? And I said, no, I just left my computer. And he says, oh, I'll make the trip if you want. I know it's not going to be worth it.
I would have done it just to hear your rant.
It's just I wouldn't do that to you. But and I appreciate that you were willing to do that. But I just totally blew it. So we got somebody else on the line.
We do.
Yeah, we do indeed. And I've got it on mine this time. See how it works. Boop. Good evening. How are you doing? Welcome to On Target Radio. And it's really quiet.
Nothing happened when you
Caller,
tapped it.
are you there?
Oh.
Dave, I just want to listen online. My computer connection is really bad.
Well, that's good.
I'm constantly refreshing, so I just wanted to listen.
Well, I find the call refreshing.
Well, alrighty then.
So you're on. Might as well tell people who you are.
It's Jeff from Berwyn again. I just.
Oh, so he just called back to listen to the show.
Yeah.
We charge by the minute.
Yeah,
by the way.
exactly. Because I got a really bad computer connection right now. So I just wanted to.
Is that because you're in Berwyn?
Jeff from Berwyn.
My cousins grew up there.
Hey,
I'm
the guy from the class.
Home in
October 22nd class. Remember?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
I'm almost going to be. I got all my applications in to the 4 states. I expect to be legally licensed to carry a concealed firearm in 36 states when I get them all in. So.
There you go. Did you enjoy the class?
By the way, I wanted to tell anybody listening, if you live in Crook County, it's really hard to get a police department to do fingerprints.
You bet.
They don't even do it in Berwyn. And Forest Park and Oak Park told me, well, you have to be a resident. So I gave up. So I tracked it down. I started calling the state police, and I can't remember which district it was, but she said call the Joliet Police Department. So I did, and he said, oh yeah, we do that. So for people in Crook County who are finding a hard time getting your fingerprints done, call the Joliet Police Department. But you have to call them in the morning because they only do it on certain days. So you got to call them first and say, are you doing fingerprints for concealed carry? And they'll let you know.
And Will County does them too, I know.
Yeah, I don't know if you have to be a resident, but
I said Will County does them also.
Well, I'm saying, the Joliet Police Department, I know for sure. They do it. But you got to call. They don't do it, you just can't walk in every day. They only do it on certain days. So you have to call them in the morning and say, are you doing fingerprints for concealed carry? And they'll tell you, well, yeah, we're doing it today. And so you can go down there.
Yeah, okay.
So that's for residents of Crook County.
Yeah, Cook County, a long time ago, Anita Alvarez originally put out, and Tom Dart put out the thing that, and Rahm Emanuel in the city of Chicago, and said none of our substation, police station stuff, you're not allowed to do fingerprints for concealed carry. You do it for bus drivers and all the other stuff, but not for concealed carry.
Well,
I wouldn't move back to Cook County if my life counted on it.
I hear you, man.
And
I'm about ready to head for Florida, but I want to get all my personal affairs wrapped up here as far as my licenses and all that other stuff. But
one of the subjects that we were going to talk about is the fact that Trump, of course, wanted to send federal assistance, federal aid for the city of Chicago. Well, that came out real well. That's a Freudian slip. And of course, Chicago goes, we don't need help because it's working so well for them now. I don't know. Anyway,
well, wait till he pulls their funding for the sanctuary status.
Yeah.
In those towns in California. But like I said, Joliet Police Department will do fingerprints for people that can't get them in Crook County.
Yep.
So I just wanted to let you all know.
Appreciate it. Thank you. All right. We could use another call, 815-205-1584, 815-205-1584. Welcome back, Gretchen.
Thanks.
Yeah.
I needed a pen.
Well, good. I've only got 20 of them here. So anyway, CNN is definitely on the chopping block. MSNBC. So it's 5:30 in the morning, and I stop at the new gas station with the Dunkin' Donuts and all that stuff up here and buy gas, and I go in and get a donut or whatever for the drive to Waterman. And Rachel Maddow is on.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah. Is she an obnoxious...
Oh,
with that smug look on her face?
She's like fingernails on a chalkboard. She's one of the ones I cannot abide her.
And she was ranting again about Trump. This is the woman who said categorically never going to be elected. And she went on and on. She said, okay, let's say he does take these 3 states, which has never been done by a Republican before. But let's just say, for the sake of argument, he does take those 3 states. He still can't win. She said, okay, let's say that he does this, which has never been done by a Republican. He can't possibly win. He won't win.
Yeah.
And then you saw her face after he won.
They desperately wanted what they were saying to be true.
Absolutely.
I mean, they desperately wanted it to be that there's no possible way he can get the Electoral College votes that he needs. And then as the night went on, they got paler and paler and paler.
She's just so obnoxious. I mean,
Yeah.
just that smug look. You just want to smack her, you know?
Yeah.
You just want to pop her one. Trump keeps, the other big thing.
I love what Spicer said, though, about freezing out CNN. He just said, I'm not going to sit around and engage with people who have no desire to actually get something right. Well, let's...
He's going to go down in
subtle.
history. He's going to go down in history. This is I can't think of a time when we had a proactive, on either side of the aisle, really, press guy for the president. Can you? I mean, they've always been just they say what they're going to say and they answer questions. This guy comes out like a pit bull.
Well, I mean, Josh Earnest was pretty... He was pretty...
Do you think he was that in their face, though?
Pro-Obama. Well, I mean, he did a really good job of whatever the talking points that he was told to push. Whatever the talking points he was supposed to push, he pushed them. I mean...
Yeah, but this guy's like telling people sitting in front of him in the press room, he's going, no, you're screwed. We don't want you. I don't know that anybody's ever done that before.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know that much about it, so I don't really have much to compare to.
It was very interesting, and I don't I honestly don't think that that's going to let up. I think that's going to be a theme for 4 years. They're just not going to tolerate it.
Yeah, I don't know where they found him, but especially the first day when he was like kind of yelling, he was like, it seemed to me that he was channeling Trump. I mean, he sounded like Trump that day. I was like, oh dang.
You can see why Trump picked him.
Yeah, I like I said, I don't know where he came from. I would like to know, what he's been doing up to now, but
I've never heard his name before.
No, me neither.
I have no idea where he came from. Or
I didn't know
he
anything about him, but yeah, he's entertaining.
He is indeed. He is indeed. And Trump just Trump is like a lumberjack. He just keep chopping down trees. It's and sacred cows. He's just shooting sacred cows between the eyes. Yeah. He's slashing all small business regulations. He's going too much Trump. Too much Trump. Too hard to be a businessman. Just cut.
Yeah. So he wants them to dramatically peel back federal regulations. It's basically they want them to look at Dodd-Frank and kind of sort of strip some of the parts out of it. And then it also, I guess there was also a thing in there that said there's going to be zero budget for new regulations in 2017 and requires federal agencies to propose any new regulatory rules to the White House for official review.
All right. We're going to be back with more On Target Radio. You give us a call, 815-205-1584.
For over 100 years, the Illinois State Rifle Association has supported the rights and freedoms of Illinois citizens to keep and bear arms. For over 100 years, the ISRA has supported the use of firearms as a sport for personal protection and as a fundamental aspect of national defense. For over 100 years, the Illinois State Rifle Association has been supporting you. Don't you think it's time you supported them? ISRA.org or 815-635-3198. The Illinois State Rifle Association, supporting you.
You're listening to On Target Radio with David Lombardo and Gretchen Fritz. Here's David and Gretchen with more interesting conversation on gun control, concealed carry, freedom of speech, and other red meat issues that affect your life.
The thing that I really like that Trump did is, at the waning moments of Obama, he put the Social Security gun ban in.
Yes.
I just turned 70. I'm on Social Security, and we all know that my memory is what would be polite? Excellent.
Sharp. Super sharp.
I don't remember that at all. But anyway,
I'm saying that facetiously.
Oh, I see. Yes. If I'd be a likely candidate for these people to go, guy's incompetent. He has no idea who he is or where
put
he
him on
is.
the list.
Yeah, right. The only defense I have for that is I've never had a good memory. I mean, never, not even as a kid. My memory sucks. But basically, it's classic. Let's disarm people any way possible. Mm-hmm. So, if you were getting Social Security, and let's say the check was actually going to somebody else to take care of it for you, maybe you're just bad at math. Who knows?
Right. Well, and there's one of the examples was it was a husband and wife. The husband, it was actually veterans. The husband had veterans benefits, but his wife always did the checkbook.
Exactly.
She probably has done it the entire time they've been married. It's not that he needs help. It's just that she does it. Oh yeah, put him on the list.
Right. Exactly. It's classic gun control. Any way you can get it.
Absolutely.
I mean,
yeah.
And look at Illinois.
Like you're saying, little bites around the edges.
Eric just told me tonight, I didn't catch it. You know about the 5% tax on clubs and all that, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Senate Bill 9.
Now the new one.
I think there's a House bill, I think it's 1810, which is a 3.5% tax on firearms and firearm components in the whole state.
Came out today.
Okay.
So 5% on anything to do with, and it's, by the way, it's not just shooting, it's golf resorts, anything.
Fitness clubs,
right,
golf clubs,
but it obviously
clubs.
affects any shooter. So they're going to add 5% there. Now they want to add 3.5%.
Right, 3.5%.
3.5% to a gun sale. There's already tax on firearms.
Well, and the other thing is the ironic thing. I'm not even sure. Well, I shouldn't say I'm not sure. The country club thing is actually part of a sugary beverage tax bill. Is actually the title of the bill. I looked it up today. Yes, I looked it up today because I was going to put it in my action items, and it's actually Amendment 2 to the sugary beverage bill. So they're sticking a tax on fitness clubs, golf country clubs, things like that, gym memberships, things like that. They're sticking that in the sugary beverage bill. So you're getting hit twice in that one bill.
That's insane. And look what they just did in Cook County. They passed a bag tax and a sugary beverage tax. I mean, these people, they're driving out people with money, meaning that the tax base.
Well, the thing is, the bag tax does not apply to people using government assistance to pay.
No. Seriously?
That's correct.
Yeah, if you're on like SNAP or something, it doesn't. They don't have to do it.
But you can get tattoos and cigarettes and stuff with the card.
Well, no, it's because money is fungible. You use the benefits to pay for everything else, and then all of your discretionary funds you can use for tattoos and,
Well, but the point is, they can use that money for anything they want. I think they can. I think you go to the store.
No.
With what is it? What do they call it? Link card or something?
Link card, yeah. Because my dad, and this is a scam they run all the time. My dad said somebody approached him in a store one time and said, "Let me buy your food with my link card, and you buy this with your money." because they couldn't buy whatever cigarettes or whatever it was with their
Okay.
link card.
Okay.
So there's certain things that they can't buy. But as far as like food, I think it is pretty much wide open.
I think some of them do have cash benefits on the card as well as the food benefits
Yeah.
too, though. So there's probably some truth to that.
That's
You know what I find really disgusting about that is there was some kids last year who was all upset because he didn't have a link card, and all his friends did.
right.
He could afford to buy breakfast at school, and he was upset because he didn't have a link card. He was inspired to go on welfare.
Well, it's because he didn't understand what it was. It was just a status thing.
But here's the thing. You're right. But here's the thing. He's being indoctrinated.
Oh, yeah,
He
no
will
question.
grow up with a belief that this is the way to live. This is a good deal.
Well, even the people that do have it are indoctrinated. I mean,
Exactly.
You know, I know somebody who used to work at Job Corps in Joliet, and so they take high risk kids from the city. They put them. It's like dormitories. They live in dormitories, and they do this like vocational program. And so she was a teacher at Job Corps, and she would say things like that to them of like, you know, there's no difference between slavery and welfare. And they would get all up in arms at her. And it's like...
And the truth is?
It's true because it's like, do you know anybody who's not on welfare? Do you know anybody who has a job and supports themselves? Well, no. No, I don't. I don't know anybody who does that. It's a culture. It's cultural, and it perpetuates itself.
It started in Lyndon Johnson, 62, something like that.
I don't know. I wasn't even a twinkle in my parents' eyes.
And, you know, they've given billions of dollars to better the plight of the black person.
Mm-hmm.
They're worse off today than they were when they started.
Right, yeah, they're
It's
completely
insanity.
dependent.
And yet they vote Democrat all the time. Oh, well, because Republicans hate us. No. What we're suggesting is you get an education, you go out and get a job, and then we'd love to have you as our next door neighbor.
We're suggesting that you do the best you can on your own, and then if you need help, we'll help you.
Yeah. And you know what? Every generation every group of immigrants that came to this country, Italians, my father, Irish, Poles, they all went through this. They were the bottom of the barrel, and they were mistreated and all that stuff.
Discriminated
And they
against,
all just said, I don't give a rat's ass. I'm going to do it.
Right.
And they rose up.
They found
and
a
did
way,
it.
right.
Yeah.
So anyway, we got off the topic. So right before Obama left, he finalized the Social Security Administration gun ban rule is what this article is calling it. And now 2 congressmen in the House and a senator they have separate resolutions to overturn that Social Security gun rule to take their guns away from the people who don't handle their own finances. And so, and I imagine that if it gets to Trump's desk, he'll sign it.
Probably so. I wouldn't doubt it. I honestly don't know, and we've talked about this countless times on the show. I don't know how you reverse this trend because in all reality, you can't just go into these neighborhoods and just say we're cutting off all the money because they just die in the streets. They'd be in the hospitals. Somehow you got to reverse the trend. And the thing that I find really appalling, and you know I said this before about the superintendent of police, the last one, Gary McCarty. Much of what he did I didn't agree with, but he got thrown under the bus. That they would say that the city council would have chutzpah to say to him, you should be in our community solving our gang problem when they're living in that community and they aren't doing anything about it.
Right. They aren't fixing it. Well, the other thing, too, is that I totally just lost what I was going to say. Holy
Good,
crap.
that's fine. Well, yeah.
Oh, I was going to say it's ironic that the biggest welfare reform that I know of, and maybe it's not the biggest one ever, but the biggest one I know of was done by Bill Clinton. I mean,
That's true.
let's look at what he did. I mean, it was very successful. It was like welfare to work or something like that. And, you know, I think we need to look at, okay, what is it actually like per community? What does it actually take to live in this community? We're not expecting you to move to a cheaper place.
Right.
We're not expecting you to go away from your family or anything. You want to live in Joliet, for example. Okay, how much money does it take to live in Joliet? Okay, you can get a job for $20,000, so we'll give you another 10 to help you make ends meet. You know, because we recognize the fact that you're not able to get a $30,000 job. But yeah, and you know, I actually am of the opinion, very strongly of the opinion, that once we get rid of a lot of the really onerous things of Obamacare, I think the job situation is going to largely work itself out.
I hope so.
People like me, I lost my job in 2011 because the downturn in the economy in 2008, 2009, it hits colleges and nonprofits last, okay? Because it takes like a couple of cycles to catch up.
Yeah.
Because they've already got their budgets done like 1-2 years in advance. So I got downsized in early 2011. And that was right about the time that Obamacare was starting to kick in. And job creators were going, we're not really going to create any full-time jobs because it's going to cost us like 150% of what it would have cost us to pay for health care now that all these new regulations are coming in. I mean, the price of health care just skyrocketed. And then the law required that so many more people, you know, required the employers to provide it. And so I really think that once they start peeling some of that stuff off of Obamacare, I really think that more full-time jobs will be created and they're going to be better jobs, you know.
Well, I hope so. You know, the economy is obviously doing better, but you know, like I'm unemployed basically. I just sort of root around, and you know, at my age,
I like to call it hustling.
Hustling. Well,
we're hustlers.
I do that. I mean, nobody wants to hire somebody my age. It doesn't matter the experience that I have and what I can do. It's just, you know, they don't want to hire somebody my age. So I'm picking out a cardboard box now, and I think, you know, I'm thinking of getting like a little monkey, and you know, and I could play like a little squeeze back,
yeah,
and he could hold a little tin
organ
cup.
grinder, yeah,
exactly. Organ grinder makes me nervous. I don't care for that term. You know what I'm saying? I mean, doesn't Eric?
I
really?
meant it in the traditional sense, not in the the euphemistic sense.
Hey, want an organ grinder? Not really. No, I don't really. No.
Nobody would say that. Nobody would say, "Do you want an organ grinder?"
You never know. Somebody could. Somebody could call in.
Well, I guess maybe if you're talking to the circus, which is going out of business, so
it is.
Cross that off your list.
I'm deeply. Do you know? Back in 70. Think about 77. I almost ran off with the circus. Ever tell you this?
Yes, you did.
Yeah, I mean, you know, they got the red and the blue, and I think it was the red that came through, if I recall. And their manager.
These stories get more and more ridiculous all the time.
I haven't heard this one.
I think these are like
yeah.
I think these are hallucinogen-induced dreams, to be honest with you.
What it is I was head usher at the University of Illinois Assembly Hall in grad school, and anytime there was anything in there, I had to be there, and. Oh, well, we'll come back.
When we
come back, I'll
That's
tell
a good tease.
And I notice we have a caller, too, so we could get to the caller. We'll be back with more on Target Radio. Give us a call, 815-205-1584.
Safer USA, Chicago's most trusted name in firearm training, is offering beginners classes, tactical pistol and rifle, long-range rifle to 600 yards, and the most comprehensive Illinois concealed carry program available. The On Target Radio co-hosts David Lombardo and Gretchen Fritz will prepare you to carry a firearm for personal protection, including firearm, holster, and ammunition selection. A comprehensive law review designed to keep you out of trouble and even how to deal with home invasions. Firearm, ammunition, holster, class notebook, and lunch are provided. Safer USA and the Aurora Sportsman's Club invite you to participate in this one-of-a-kind Illinois concealed carry program that also qualifies you for Florida, Utah, and Arizona non-resident permits. Find out what over 6,000 students already know at saferusa.com.
Or call 815-741-3474. That's 815-741-3474. Safer USA. Choosing to own a firearm is your business. Teaching you to own it responsibly is ours.
You're listening to On Target Radio with David Lombardo and Gretchen Fritz. Here's David and Gretchen with more interesting conversation on gun control, concealed carry, freedom of speech, and other red meat issues that affect your life.
Over a half-century ago, a respected firearms store opened. It started as a hobby for Mike Schrenk and has now served generations of customers. Schrenk's Smoke and Gun retains a family atmosphere and now carries the largest selection of new, used, and consignment firearms in Lake County. From pistols, rifles, and shotguns to hard-to-find calibers, collectibles, and older functioning hunting rifles. You'll also find full gunsmith services from simple detail cleaning to complete rebuilds. Whether you're thinking about your first firearm and a FOID card or looking to add to your collection, visit Schrenk's Smoke and Gun. If you have a firearm to sell, their recent sale was so successful they need your firearms. And if you love cigars, you'll find your favorites in Schrenk's humidors, along with a broad selection of pipes and tobacco. Visit smoke, the letter N, gun.org, or call 847-662-4034. Schrenk's Smoke and Gun in Waukegan, your family-owned gun store since 1964. That's 847-662-4034.
I would point out that advertising on Target Radio, because it's cheap,
Very cheap.
is like $25 for a 60-second spot a week when it was $200 for a 60-second spot when we're on WIND. And we can do, and you can do a video one. We can actually do a video commercial for you. So if you got a business, you might want to consider it. $25 a week is like pretty cheap. And
very cheap.
We'll do it as a video. We can go to your business, shoot it, and no, wait, that's a bad choice of words. We'll go to your business,
shoot the video,
and there you go. We're here. So the circus thing, and then we're going to get to Abraham because he wants to talk about the economy. So before we get depressed, let's talk about the circus. So when I was at the University of Illinois as a grad student, I was in charge of the Assembly Hall usher staff, and anything that was in the Assembly Hall, I had to be there. I saw every performance of the Ice Capades, 10 at a time, right? You know, and then the circus would come in 10 at a time. The circus is the most interesting thing you will ever see because nobody can talk to each other. They all speak different languages. Mm-hmm. They're from Romania, all these different places, right? And they push the whole thing in the middle of the Assembly Hall floor. They drop a bunch of chains. The stuff is in boxes. Mm-hmm. They hook them up and boom, and there's a circus, right? So there's a red and a blue, and they go across the states, and the manager, I think it was Red was there at the time, the manager just quit. He just left, and they needed a manager. They offered me the job, and I came like that close to running away with the circus. It would have been interesting.
That's going in the book, right?
Yeah, and what happened is my advisor goes, "What?" He goes,
which is the appropriate response from an advisor.
And that pretty much ended my running away with the circus. So speaking of bad economy, how was that for a segue? We have got to
do something, I guess.
Exactly. We have Abraham on the line, and I think I'm trying to figure out which one is Abraham.
There's two callers. Yeah. Abraham is 60. Well, I'm not gonna.
Is he the 38-second one?
He is the 6-minute one.
Okay, so Abraham, we're going to talk to you. Abraham, how you doing?
How about yourself?
We're doing okay.
I'm doing good. How about yourself?
We're doing okay. We're doing okay. You got a word on the economy? Are you going to give us money?
Got quiet. Only if I win the lottery. I'll do that for you.
What's your comment?
So I just want So it's basically a comment. I just want to be realistic on the economy. I'm glad that Trump is thinking about jobs, and I'm glad about that. But we just have to be We have to be realistic on the jobs that we're getting back. The economy is going to be different compared to 10 years ago. A lot of it has to do with technology. I just want people to realize, don't think that when we're getting these jobs back, it's going to be like the economy it was 5 or 10 years ago. It's going to be different. A perfect example would be people like Uber, doing driverless trucks. People like Amazon. Believe it or not, if you go on Amazon on a YouTube video, you can do shopping without any cashier. Grab in and go. People like McDonald's having self-service, ordering machines. So don't get me wrong. I mean, we are going to get some jobs back. We just have to be realistic what jobs we're getting back, and we just have to prepare ourselves. What's going to be the jobs like in the future as well.
Of course,
so
it's always
my
evolving.
comment.
I think, and it's a good observation, and there's a lot of automation going on because of $15 an hour. A lot of companies said, and we've talked about this before, but a lot of companies said, you know what? I'm not going to pay some unskilled person to stand at a counter and hand hamburgers to people $15 an hour. And they started automating. So it's a classic liberal faux pas, right? They have this grand idea, we'll pay everybody a minimum $15 an hour with no thought whatsoever to what the ramifications are to business. And there you go. Now you got automation in a lot of places, and that trend is growing. It won't reverse. It's gonna increase as it goes. So yeah, the economy. And the other thing about the economy that's interesting is you got to be careful exactly what they mean. And a good example is I just got a letter, 2017. They're going to increase my Social Security by like $25 a month or something. And I'm going, cool, got an increase. So they say, okay, so come January 1st, this is what to expect. And I look at it, and it's exactly what they've been paying me for the past year. So I call Social Security, and you wait on the line for like 45 minutes. And I go, she goes, oh, yeah, well, no, you got a raise. And I go, but it's the exact same amount. She goes, well, they raised Medicare to go along with it. So it was a zero sum. They raised Medicare, and then they just gave me money, and it goes right back to Medicare. So I didn't see anything.
Sure.
It's typical. Bread from I'm going to guess, not bread from Joliet. It's Brad from Joliet. Brad, is that right? Is it Brad from Joliet?
That's correct. Good evening, guys.
There it is. Hi. How you doing? Hi.
Good. I wanted to talk a little bit about the topic of the week, the news topic of the week, the temporary refugee ban.
Right.
And it's really been in the news because of all the manufactured, organized, protests and violence that have gone against it. And I hear all the pundits talking about just literally what it is, but I tend to look at the move that Trump has made. Maybe he's playing a game on a little bit deeper level, as in he's doing this to sort of change the perception around the world that America is finally no longer the soft target that it has been, the last 8 years or more.
Amen.
And trying to change its perception around the world.
I said that very thing. I totally agree with you. I think that's true. And this is nothing new. This has been done by many presidents over the years.
Yes.
It's very clearly constitutional.
It's totally constitutional. There have been people who've been putting this section of the Constitution on Facebook to prove that it's constitutional.
And then the other issue is about this being about Muslims. Well, the problem is terrorists today are Muslims. But here's the reality. What were there, 7 countries, I think? Mm-hmm. There are many more countries that have higher Muslim Indonesia is one. They're not on the list.
Right.
Okay?
These are some of the countries that probably should be on the list, like Saudi Arabia, they won't put on the list.
Right, because of political.
It's not.
Sure.
It's not going to play politically.
But the point is countries that they put on that list are Muslim, because that's who's causing the trouble. But they're not on the list because they're Muslim. They're on the list because that country supports terrorism and they're exporting terrorists.
Well, and that they have no way of
vetting
checking. You know, Sudan and Somalia are good examples of, okay, we can contact their government and say, okay, tell us about, you know, Arif Saddam, and, you know, and he's 38 years old and blah, blah, blah. And they go, we don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
We don't have it. They basically have no government infrastructure to be able to run background checks on these people to give us information. And so that's part of the reason why some of these countries are on the list, or they're simply uncooperative, like Iran, you know. But yeah, I mean, some of the countries that should be on the list, like Saudi Arabia, Pakistan, where actual terrorists have come here already and attacked us, you know, based on past history. Some of those countries should be on the list, but they can't put them on the list.
I was mentioning before the show, there is apparently a prior Marine is working as, I believe, a civilian contractor in Iran. And his people that he works with there, they're all up in arms because of the ban. You know, we can't go to the United States. Can't go to the United States. And so he asks them, he says, let me ask you a question. If I walk out of this door and I go into town, what's going to happen to me? And he goes, somebody will capture you, and torture you, and behead you. He goes, why is that? He says, because they hate Americans. He said, then why would I let you into my country? Gee, that's a really insightful question, isn't it? Yeah, exactly. These people hate Americans, and you know what? They have no business being in our country. Why should we even think about it?
Yeah, and I was telling you right before the show started, I was having an argument on Facebook with a liberal that I know, and you know, I was saying I think that immigration really needs a lot of attention, that we've basically ignored it for many, many years. And he's like, what do you mean by that? I'm like, I think we should lower all the numbers we accept from every country. I mean, I had like about 7 statements of the ways that it's completely broken.
It is.
And it's just temporary. I mean, it was only 90 days. It's not like
right.
It's not like forever and ever.
The problem is,
but I think he's sending a message that, you know, we are no longer the soft America. We're hardening our defenses, and we're going to be a different partner to deal with than the previous administration.
Brad,
that's an important message to send.
Brad, did you see what Mad Dog Mattis did his first day in the Pentagon? Did you see that? He, first day in his office in the Pentagon, he has, I got this list, and they do 31 airstrikes against ISIS. First day in office, 31 airstrikes against ISIS. It's a beautiful thing. Beautiful thing.
And that was, you know, that was a light day.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, as he's walking out the door at 5 o'clock, he goes, don't go home yet. I've got another list at home. I'm going
to call you.
Yeah, we'll be in touch. Call. We can keep. No, I think you're going to see some interesting things out of this. And it scares the snot out of established people on the left and the right side, because literally he just signed a bill about, I forget how many years it takes to before you can be a lobbyist. He just extended it. He increased it.
Yeah.
Oh, we have to go away now. All right. Well, thanks.
Stand by.
From the ISRA.
Here's Gretchen with your action items for the week.
From the ISRA, Senate Bill 0009 is a wide-ranging revenue bill to increase dollars into the coffers of the state of Illinois. Page 29 of Amendment 2 to SB 0009 calls for taxes on gun clubs and hunt clubs. The Illinois State Rifle Association objects to the inclusion of these two entities because this is essentially a tax on a fundamental right and is therefore unconstitutional. Sales taxes on newspapers and poll taxes are examples of taxes on fundamental rights that have been declared unconstitutional. In Ezell versus Chicago, the court rightly pointed out that the right to possess a firearm for protection implies the right to acquire and maintain proficiency in its use. The core right wouldn't mean much without training and practice to make it effective. SB 9 has had its third reading on January 25th. Please call or email your Illinois state senator and tell them you want gun clubs and hunting clubs removed from SB 9. I put this information on Facebook earlier today. Do you want me to stop right now?
We're about to run out of time.
Okay.
Sorry. I don't know. We got off on the, somehow we got off on that. But that's okay. We'd like to thank you for joining us tonight. And we appreciate that you tell your friends about On Target Radio.
We'd also like to thank our engineer very much, and announcer Eric Allen, and our sponsors, my editor, Creative Business Services, the Will County Grassroots Division of the ISRA, Schrank's Smoke and Guns, the Illinois State Rifle Association, the Aurora Sportsman's Club, and Safer USA.
And we hope that you will tell your friends to join us next week on Facebook as well as on YouTube.